So we got to talk about the whole thing where dudes say there's women over here. So I, I asked this to multiple men and they never showed proof about how it's women over here. Remember what I said in my other videos? I said, hey, why don't you show me women that I find attractive, or any of these guys who travel attractive? See if they're compatible, and then they would have no reason to travel overseas. They never did it. But all the shaming tactics and all this crap, like women, it's kind of like they're not bringing any logical stuff to the table. They're like, I'm married and I got a girlfriend, but they never elaborate what the stuff they have to do to keep that chick. See, they understand that it's people do different things, but they don't understand that what they have to offer, the women in this country has to offer for men that want to leave. People already see it. So I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna debunk a whole bunch of things in this one video that I heard over the past couple, even a year, about staying in your lane. There's women here, they're easy, self-improvement, all this other crap. I already made videos about that, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna compact it in here because I got new pictures and everything, right? So what are you offering guys? What, a chick who lower her standards for an old white guy? I mean, this the type of chick who would say she want a guy who's tall, he got a big packing, and she want her man to dress like this and blah blah blah. But then when you see her in the picture, she with an old white guy who she just threw her standards out the windows for. But I'm supposed to believe that these women are good, and I'm supposed to believe that there's some good women in the country, right? You got women with distorted mental conditions where they think that men who don't cheat is a better commodity to stay with than men who are faithful. I don't have to make this up, man. This is social media. On the side of the people who said that these women here, you don't show me proof of men who can say that they're happy. You can give me, I can give you right now an interview, or I would ask certain men certain questions who got a relationship over here, and I would ask them certain questions on what they got to do in the relationship, and I bet you it's something I would never do. But then you'll try to blame it on me because I'm out of slave and servitude to these women, these dysfunctional nature women. But this is female nature. I mean, female nature, right? Everything a woman does is female nature. So she can dump 3 guys. She could dump 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys, everything else because they was too faithful, messing them up and turning them into players who don't want to be on no dates with nobody. But it's the guy's job to clean himself up and tighten his mental condition up so he can be players too and hurt everybody else. Look at the comments. It's just nice guys, so boring. Like, damn, like argue, cheat on me, F my friends, something. These are the mentalities of the women in this culture. Because look. I can say automatically, if the good so-called good women was out there, they will be fighting this stuff to tooth and nails. They'd be going so hard that it would impress some men to stay in this country, but they're not saying nothing because they like the status quo. Just like the men who tell guys to self-improve and all this other crap, game crap, and bragging about that, they like the status quo too. The men who leave, they're not trying to play no stupid games. We're grown people are grown people. Why you want to play games like we little kids? But then you will sit around and make fun of people who watch pro wrestling and play video games. But then you talking about some game. This is the mindset that we have. Men with hoes, men without hoes. I don't want no whack who can't pull bees. And if you see the profiles of these females, 2 of them don't look ratchet and 1 of them do. But I'm supposed to believe that there's a small percent chance that these women are good. I'm supposed to like a female who dated and had sex with criminals, who murdered people, sell drugs to people, rape little kids, all this type of stuff that they do to human beings. I'm supposed to forget her body count and get with her because she pretends to be nice or pretends to be under my program. That's what I'm supposed to do, a disgusting human being who compliments somebody who took another life. That's what you got to offer guys out here who's morally sound. I would never, ever, ever, ever be attracted to somebody who does something to children or another human being. She's trash to me, and I'm gonna throw her in the trash, and she need to be thrown in the jail. So you want men to be dealing with sloppy seconds, not only of other guys, because that's normal, but murderers and people who done wrong to other people. So I'm supposed to deal with somebody who might get me in her drama and trouble. This is what you got to offer, guys. Let us talk about the dating apps. You see the profile right here. She said, once a relationship has kids, I'm a very kind-hearted person who is looking for a nice guy. I don't want to have sex because I'm currently sleeping with someone. I like him, but I guess we're not ready for commitment. I don't have to say anything right here, man. Add this woman to about millions and millions of women in this country who have the same mentality of this female, wasting other people's time, but don't want to give them the sex. But I'm supposed to believe that it's easy in this country. How many women that you gotta go through to get what you want in this country? Why don't you tell guys that right now? Or stay in your lane. But by your lane, it means that guys have to deal with somebody like this. Because if it's so-called their lane, and they did everything your dumb ass said about self-improvement and all this other shit, and they still got women like this, then your whole argument busting in the shambles. Because we know in America all together, you see the mixed match in America. You see big women with fit men. But we supposed to believe that if you're fit, you go to the gym, you get fit women, you get attractive women. You got women going after, I go down the line. You want guys, this is what you got to offer guys? Drugged out women who used to look good back in the day? This is what you offering guys when you say, well, it's women here. It's single women here. Is this what you offering guys? Like this right here? Huh? So I'm supposed to believe that I'm supposed to be lenient on her life choices, and I'm supposed to be acceptable to her bullshit, and I'm supposed to be the one to deal with her drug problem and her half her hair and her dogged out looks, because that's my lane, right? I'm supposed to be attracted and date somebody who I think this chick in this picture, I think killed one of her kids because her baby dad was cheating on her, and she had one of the kids grabbed up and holding the baby up in the air, talking about she gonna choke him if he don't come home. But I'm supposed to deal with women like this who got a past like this, or any of the other men who you tell not to travel. And then she has the nerve to have an ego even though she has a dark past, and she should be happy with any guy coming her way after what she did. But I'm supposed to deal with somebody like this, scum, women like this, who abuses child because she don't get her way. And I'm supposed to hear to her all her wishes and all her things. Because that's what men do for women, right? The select man, the select non-select argument that women pick. So she can pick all she wants, even though she kill kids and she choking kids, because if she don't get her way. So imagine if you have kids with her and she gets mad at you, beats your kid. Long as she could select somebody, it's okay, right? Every other community got some type of rules and regulations, right? Black people don't have none of that. Asian people got systems and things they do. White people have their systems and things they do. They even have different types of sectors for guys who don't fit in. The goth community is that's a sub society. Where's the sub society for black people who don't fit in? You don't have it, because if you did have it, Sean James would have a girlfriend right now, and he wouldn't have to do the religious route. Every guy who don't fit in should be able to have a girlfriend. See, we understand that some of the white guys, all they have to do is date black women, because black women like to swirl. Most black women want a way out. So these incel guys, they have no excuse of not getting nobody, because it's a whole loads of attractive women who swirl and waiting for them, and in fact, women too. But you know what it is. They're not attractive enough. Nobody want to deal with them. Indian people have their own system. You think that every man wants a Boquisha? You think every man wants 3 of these females when we know what's attached to them? Thugs, drug habits, shady ass paths. Do you really think that guys are stupid enough to want these women? No matter how attractive they are, you can get set up and get killed for that. Many guys got set up and killed for one of these women. The memo's already out. These women are dangerous. You can't talk to them. You can't have sex with them. You can't even talk to them in anywhere, because they're gonna send their thug after you if you tell them no, or they'll try to set you up with trying to have sex with you, and then you dead, or you get robbed. But you want to act like every man is wanting these type of women. Nah. This is the women you offering, guys? Let's be real. This is the lane that guys supposed to stay in? When, on the opposite side, women look better than the women that I'm showing right now. This is what's offered to the guys who don't go to jail, do the right thing and everything else. This is what's offered to them, and they supposed to be happy with this. And you wonder why a lot of people get cheated on. A lot of these females get cheated on by the so-called good guys, because the good guys looking and say, "What the hell? This is the best that this is the best that this society has to offer me." I mean, guys supposed to take in females who got trains ran on them, and walk around with them like they the top prize, like this chick. It's the same guys who talk about BDMSing and what is it, parangary, whatever that shit called, man. You wouldn't date somebody who just got ran through, and it's videos of her getting ran through, because half of you guys are not trying to date any of the porn stars who's single, who asking for relationships. I mean, I could say if these guys who was talking about game and all this other stuff and the sexual nature and the sexual underground, their wife was getting ran through by a whole bunch of white guys and midgets and stuff like that, or guys got smashed by bums and stuff like that in movies, and they wife them up. I go, okay, I understand. You legit because you're spitting out, you doing what you practice, you practicing what you preaching, but these guys are never gonna wife up chicks who they know is out here doing that. They'll have sex with them, but they won't wife them up. But they got game and swag. They got all the answers, but none of them got girlfriends or wives who does this kind of stuff. If you got so much game and so much swag that you can control women and know their sexual nature, you would have a girlfriend right now. She'd be happy with sharing you with the world. Then I can call you legit. But you don't hear yapping it up, telling guys that money don't matter and all this other stuff, but you don't even have a lot of money. You don't have a girlfriend. All you do is interview chicks, making you look bad. But then you want to talk down to guys and keep saying stupid ass shaming tactics. Oh, you gotta do this and blah 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 blah. Your whole points don't resemble what you putting out there. You can't even do the things that you tell other guys to do. I mean, these are the same guys who want to put you on to big women who got nice faces. Like, you won't accept that. If she can put on all this makeup and she can ask for dinner, she can ask for all these days, she can get in the gym and lose all that weight. So men supposed to take overweight women like her, because women who big, they get bigger. When they get with a man, they get lazier. I've seen it happen too many times where guys started dating women and then 3-4 years later the chick blew up and got bigger. So imagine women like this who get bigger. But you want guys to deal with this first, right? Oh, my bad. It's also out there to take them to the gym. Waste your time while you doing something in your life and take them to the gym. So when you tell guys to go to other races, you want them to date something like this? I'm asking the guys questions and saying that there's women over here. You want them to date this? Show me better white women who's nice and who like a different type of man. The kind of men that they don't have to be rappers and none of that. Show me them. Show all the black men and show them where they at. Then you might have a point. But if you don't, why don't you just shut the hell up? All these women contribute to these guys, these homosexuals. Same guys who they use women for things. Jobs. I always wonder why good men can't get jobs, but these homosexuals can, because they sell themselves. These guys that they trying to promote over here who says, oh man, it's so easy to get women over here and blah, blah, blah. They don't tell you the truth. They sell themselves. They sell their souls. They become monkeys for women just for job opportunities. I know a dude that I talked about in one of my previous videos. He got locked up and finally he got out from child support. Now he had to get in. He had to be in the chick's good side so he can stay out of jail. Now he's pretty much her slave again. You see him in new pictures with a job and everything else. He just came out of jail. He lost the previous job, but I know this dude ever since middle school. He the Pander. But these women fund homosexuals, and then they come online telling you that if you just want sex, you should just hire a prostitute. But then they have a story about a female taking care of them. How can you give advice to anybody when you used to be a homosexual? And any guy who brags about not having no money and having females, you're lower the lowest, dude. You the one to make the whole race look bad, because there's a lot of guys in other cultures who can brag about that because it's in their culture. Women don't do that, but in a black culture, you bragging that you didn't need no money and no job and you was homeless getting women. Hey man, Tell the truth of what you had to do. You had to talk to females for hours. You had to eat her out. You had to do all this other crazy shit. You had to be a slave. You a pussy slave who had to do everything he could to get women because you didn't have nothing. Every other race don't have to do that bullshit because in their race, they're taught to have respect for their men and for stuff that they do. So if a guy's hard working, a woman is going to attach themselves to that man and stay with that guy forever. In the black community, the women have the reins and the power. So you bragging about being a homosexual and not having enough money to do anything, just show me the type of quality of women you had and show me that you was always under women. So you was always, you were never that man that you talk about when you talk about the other guys who have a hard time, because the other guys who have a hard time, they was actually doing something with themselves. Unlike you. You master women, but you didn't master life. You don't have nothing to show for it. No skills, no talent, none of that shit. All you got is a bunch of stories about women. And then you try to resell the concept of getting women to guys who can't get them. And they made a shortcut and said, fuck this, I'm not listening to you. I'm going overseas. More, man. You got guys who believe this shit and they become memes for people. Get with fat white women. And they think they doing something. I mean, over here you gotta constantly compliment women. You gotta be a compliment slave. Pander. Oh, you beautiful. You're sexy. You're fun. You can't say nothing wrong. Because if you said something wrong, you ain't getting shit. And then she's gonna spread rumors about you being something. It happened to me. You seen on my posts, you seen one of my videos of all the shit that they said about me, and this happens. This spread it around. And this is how I know the hive mind was strong in the United States and not that strong in other countries, because the culture in other countries, the culture stops the women from joining certain hive minds. It don't save everybody, but it save enough females who say, I'm not a part of that life. I'm not messing with no guys, and I'm not messing with no gangsters in the favelas. I'm not messing with no guys in Mexico City. I'm not messing with those guys. I'm not messing with those drug dealers. Those girlfriends usually die. You hear a lot of Asians. I'm not messing with no Chinese gangsters. They beat their women. You see a lot of women in other cultures fight some of the stereotypes and fight some of those hive mind mentality. So your whole point of female nature, there's tons of women who fighting that joint right now because there was a system set up to show them in real time what happens to women who deal with certain guys. But you want guys to be compliment slaves, right? These females out here think that they can be sold like new to a guy who never had anything. So you think that you can sell a used car to a guy who never owned a car. You can try to move over the price instead of just him getting a new car. And the concept of getting something that brand new, runs new, is new to him and fresh new to him. It doesn't look like it has nothing wrong with it, and he can drive it around just fine, and he can have that car for 5-10 years. But something that's beat up, it shows it is beat up. But you want guys to believe that it's brand new? Nah. I mean, more can I say about this whole situation with Sierra and Russell Westbrook and them thinking that they can resell themselves to higher status men? That's Russell Westbrook ball, but I think this is what you offering guys? Used up women from rappers? I mean, let's talk about women. This is what the nice guys have to offer. This is what the guys who said it's women here have to offer men here. When women can't take rejection, they either kill the guy, set the guy up, or try to ruin his life with allegations. This story right here happened a few years ago, 2016. She loved extra hard. Ex-neighbor said Penn graduate charged with killing driver, SUV driver. So this so-called attractive female who was mentally ill, he didn't want to be with her no more, and that was the story about it. And I can look it up, but I understand the whole thing. So he told her he didn't want to be with her. She had a gun, pulled it out, shot him. He crashed into somewhere. She walked all the way back to her house like it was nothing. There was another story about what is it? A high school couple. She was also black. The boyfriend told her he didn't want to be with her no more. She shot him in the back of the head and shot herself in the car. So this perception of guys can't get over stuff and they need to fix rejections and they can't handle rejection. There's plenty of women out here who still have a mentality of mad and bitter angerness, but they're ugly and unattractive. At least the men, they don't look as heavy as these females. They can go and that's what they're doing. They're going somewhere else. But you want to say guys can't handle rejection? There's many stories out here where a female burnt the guy's house down because she thought he was cheating. But even though she was a side chick, the entitlement and the high level mentality of these women here is a dangerous thing for any man to deal with. But you want to act like it's roses and sunshine here. We know what we're dealing when we go overseas, because that's the reason why. It's a better environment. The women have a real-time environment, the consequences of what happens if they cross men. And they have better examples of good people getting together with their parents and their friends. But you want guys to believe that the women over here, just because they like anime and games and stuff, and you just say, hey, I'm not getting what I want, I'm out of here, you suck, that the girl gonna let you go and gonna shoot you and shoot herself? Because it happens a lot, but they don't talk about it in the media. They just make it seem like men do it. Men go around killing their ex-girlfriends all the time. No, women do it all the time. So we gotta believe that we should just supposed to walk away and don't say anything. I was listening to Supreme King Coon's no, what was it, Super Triz or Supreme King Coons? I think it was Super Triz, because I just noticed his channel and Supreme King Coon was on there. I think I forgot. I think it was Supreme King Coon. I forgot which one. It was which one, because I watched both of them at the same day and went to sleep, and my mind is messed up, combobulated. At the time I was sleepy. But he was talking about how guys suggest, Information Man said guys should just leave and don't say anything. But the fact is, if that's the case, then why do you allow dudes who sleep with other people's wives? Do you not condone them and say, why are you doing that? You messing the game up, bros. Why are you videotaping yourself getting head from a female who's married? Why are you smashing a girl from behind while she's on the phone with her boyfriend? So they get to brag about what they have done to other men. But men can't go and put it in their face that they're in a better position and they can get better looking women than they do over here. Right? You can't go in a girl's inbox and say, hey man, how them 3 kids is? Should have picked me in the first place, dumb fuck. And keep fucking with her till she blocks you. So it's wrong for them to do that? I mean, some of these guys, these military guys, are dishonest with themselves because some of them went to the military while their wives were cheating on them, and military wives are infamous for cheating on their men. But then guys like C Boogie on here talking about he a military man, but he participated in the whole thing with cheating on, having sex with other people's wives, man. He did that, and he comes on here and brag about it, right? So I'm supposed to believe your whole military record is prestigious, because if it was so prestige, you would still be in the military. You wouldn't be a civilian right now. So this is what men who go on the service and do all the right things and fight for their country got to deal with: women cheating on them, right? This is what you got, which is what you offer men in the United States when it comes to dating, right? The rabid Me Too movement and the biased mentality that these women have when certain guys compliment them in the workplace. This is the reason why a lot of guys are not working in corporate jobs no more. This is the reason why guys opt out and just work around men. This is why guys choose jobs where there's no women at all, because they pick and they nitpick. Certain guys can give them compliments and certain guys can't. Because if the wrong guy gives them compliments, they say, he raped me. He raped me, he touched me, he looking at me, and get one of her thug boyfriends to beat the dude up or kill him. So this is what you offering guys: a biased system against them based off what they look like, and then tell them that they gotta look like the guy that they like, instead of them just being themselves. These are the kind of women you gotta offer men? Ghetto ratchet females? Women with this kind of mentality? I mean, I'm not making this up. I just can't make this up, but you have to come with better pictures and better everything. And you just make just simple videos about your points. Oh yeah, man, you're an incel and you gotta be on your purpose and blah 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 and all this stuff. You don't even know what your purpose is, dude. If you was actually on your purpose, then anybody who's on a purpose for real, they don't have time to be talking down to people. They don't have time to sit there and tell somebody they need to be on a purpose because they're on theirs. The small breaks they have, they won't use it talking trash about people. And people on a purpose, at some point in their life, they stop. And then they give back to the next generation. So a lot of guys are just lying to themselves saying they was on a purpose and stuff, because once you accumulate a whole bunch of skills and talents and a lot of mentality and a lot of experience for people, you stop as you get older and you say, I gotta look out for the next generation and make sure that they don't do the same thing I did. So you got all these dishonest people on here trying to make themselves look good. Like I said, they try to overlord people. But you supposed to be women saying, I hate this generation of men nowadays will break up with you for cheating instead of fighting the man you cheated with and forgiving you. This is out their mouth. This is a sentiment to this is what a lot of females in this country echo this kind of shit. But you want people to believe that these women are different, and the women who say they different don't fight back on this. Oh, I don't see that kind of stuff. I don't go on that kind of stuff. And it showed me that you only care about one certain things. You can't come and defend. You can't show up and defend when dudes talking about women, but you can't defend your own image when it comes to when women make your image look bad. Because then it make you look bad. I mean, this meme shows it all. Other races of men shows, innovation and stuff, and black dudes don't do that, man. And whoever said that lame The funny thing about these dudes is they say that lame, if you are lame here, you're lame in another country, and that's not true, because if Bill Gates was a lame in his white community, he wouldn't be at the status he is right now. His lameness, his boringness got him where he at. Just like there's a whole bunch of other guys who so-called lame and boring. But you're not gonna speak on the fact that the same lame, boring qualities that these women don't like, when guys who up here talking and telling guys what to do, when the women get tired of these type of guys, they get with the lame, boring guy who's white or Asian or Latino. I mean, I promote black women getting with other races of men, because it shows it makes them compete. Because if you want guys who got their own their shit, I told you straight away. I lived around a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Mexicans. I speak somewhat little bit, understand a little bit. Some of them guys work real hard, and some of them are single. So when black women say all this crap, I say, hey, I got a guy for you. He work hard. But they want to stay in the race, because if they stay in the race, they don't have to compete with nobody. Because if you try to compete for a Latino guy, you're going to have to compete with the looks of the Latino women. And I can tell you this right now, by living in Philly and living in the part I live in, there's no competition, man. The Latinos look 10 times better than the black chicks, and come on. This is what you gotta offer? Guys being simps with their capes floating in the air? I mean, you got this to promote women. I mean, any of these guys who talk about women here can easily promote the best side of women. And we're not talking about the women who so-called educated, because we know there's something wrong with them as well. We're talking about women who are humble and who are really feminine and don't have to show femininity to people. Real feminine women do not go around talking crazy to different men and burning bridges with men. They don't do that, man. But these women are literally in the United States are a joke for being on the internet fighting, getting shot, getting killed, getting ran over on trains, running out of stores, not paying, cheating on men. But you supposed to believe that these women are the best women? We got a lot of women out here who got multiple men. And these guys don't know they competing for her. The dynamics in America change now. The men are the women are the players, and they got the most knowing how to do things. But the fact is, they can't do that kind of shit with smart dudes, because smart dudes got different type of things that they can know if a female's talking to multiple guys. Just like I called out this one big chick a few years ago who tried to play me, and when I saw her on social media, I didn't even know she was that big. She had a face out. I'll show you her later on, and I'll tell you the story behind that. But I ran into many women who was on here on social media in real life that they was talking to multiple men, and they act like they had the attitude of them talking to multiple men. You know, if you're the only guy in a female's category or dating or even talking to her, it's the way she acts towards you. But you want dudes to believe that these women are nice and kind. This is what you got to offer, guys. I mean, as I said, with everybody else talking about sexual nature and stuff like that, would you go take a female on a date or even have sex with her after she got ghetto gagged and got a trash can thrown on her and trash thrown on her and jizz on her face and look like this? When any of these so-called game dudes date this chick after she got ghetto gagged, I mean, we know black dudes are simps because they become guys who everybody know black guys are the simps, but I mean, you talk about white guys being cucks, but I mean, you don't like it when you're a cuck. I mean, the same guys, like Super Sly said himself, that he would cheat on his wife. She cheated on his wife, but he don't know if his wife cheating on him. And if he finds out, he's gonna go crazy. That's something the female would do, because if you cheating on your wife, she can cheat on you. I mean, you can even meet the guy, long as he don't come to your house and disrespect you in that manner. But if you cheating, she get to cheat. You get to see the husband. It's the same thing that happened in an episode in a season of a show I watch, Ray Donovan. Ray Donovan cheated on his wife all the time, right? He cheated on his wife all the time. He even did the worst despicable thing I ever seen on TV. He cheated on his wife while she was battling cancer. And he redeemed that because he tried to commit suicide in the last season of season 4. But and he survived it. But in one season, he cheated on his wife all the time. So his wife decided that she was going to get herself a side dude. Ray Donovan, one of the bitch moves I ever seen, and this is what Super Sly does too. He got mad, pulled a gun on him, but the fact that he couldn't do nothing because the dude was a cop. So he made sure that the guy was a cop, and it took the wife telling him that it was off and that she wanted to go with her husband and stuff like that, because Ray Donovan couldn't do anything. Dude was a cop, and he had pull in the department. But when his wife cheated on him and showed the guy, he got mad and couldn't take it. But he can go around cheating on his wife. See, this is what I'm talking about with these game dudes and these guys like that. This is the reason why they're not in relationships, because they can't handle the stuff they do to other people. It's the same thing what a woman can't do. Women can't handle being rejected like they reject men. They can't do it. Calling guys names, calling them names. If they had the same amount of people making fun of them as they do with a other crowd of people, like if they made fun of a guy walking down the street looking his own way and just paying attention to himself, if they was in that person's shoes, they'd try to kill themselves. They can't take that kind of stuff that they do to other people. They can dish it, but they can't take it. Same thing with these game dudes. That's why I said these guys who talk about women and blah 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 and say they can get women easily, and know the women said they got women qualities inside of them. And some of them are a little effeminate. Because if you dish something out, you have to take it. If I was cheating on somebody and my wife was cheating on somebody and my girlfriend was cheating on somebody, I'd take that on the chin like, hey, I did wrong. Plenty of times where I said I'm getting my just due when I did something wrong to somebody. Back in the day, before, when I was friends with a guy, one of my friends, old friends, I stole from him. I took something from him. Took video games, sold that shit. I did all types of, because he was a guy on a low totem pole in our group. So when I got robbed years ago for games, a game in a PSP, I knew it came back. I didn't get mad. But after the fact, I told you the story after the fact, the dude was doing too much. Like I got my karma back, but then he kept doing it over and over and over again. Or he didn't rob me, but he kept pushing me to the fact. So, I was going to do what I had to do, but good enough thing that the dude is in jail doing what I think 15 years now. So I won in the end with that. But I didn't get mad because someone did something to me that I did to somebody else long ago. These guys sleep with dudes' wives, sleep with dudes' girlfriends, probably cause these guys to commit suicide or even make guys go around killing their wives or girlfriends. But they don't want that stuff to happen to them. The world has to stop when it happens to them. But they never practice what they preach when it comes down to the women. Oh, you're the sexual nature. You don't like their body count. Dude, all you got to do is wife up all these porn stars, man. I follow a lot of porn stars, man, and they're broken individuals. If you got so much game, then I want to see you with some porn stars, man. I can tell you, I got a dude who tells me when the events happen. All you gotta do is take trips and go over there, and you'll have a girlfriend, and that'll make you more credible as a dating coach and a PUA. That'll make you more credible. I'm giving you tips. I mean, let's not forget the high caliber women dating guys in jail, because they said that the best men are in jail, but we supposed to believe the dating pool is so rich and fulfilled in America. Oh my God, it's women who looks kind of like this. So you telling me that the men who get all these okay looking women or fine women, the other side, in their lane, in their supposed lane, they can find women just like this in their lane? If they can, then show them. Show them. We supposed to deal with women who are the laughing stocks of other cultures. I mean, they go to nail salons getting a behind whipped, but you supposed to be slaves to them when they are under other races of men and other races of women. Come on, man. When we supposed to take back women who, when they date out, these guys don't fit no certain stigma. These guys are short. These guys don't have no muscles. They don't do all that. They're not packing, but they throw all of those criteria away because the guy's another race. But guys who do leave the country and go to other countries to go find wives and girlfriends or even fun, we keep our standards for the people we have, or keep our dating standards international. But we supposed to take some of these women back because they look kind of good, but they threw the standards out for certain kind of men. But we supposed to stand in place and wait for them to come back with the same standards they had for black guys, but didn't have it for the other race. Oh, sure. So they tell you to self-improve and well-groom and everything else. This is a shot of when I was in the store. I mean, these prices ain't really that much, but the fact is, this is what they want you to do. They want you to constantly be a hamster on the wheel, like my other video said. And like, look, it's okay to do that, but overdoing it when you're not going nowhere, when you're not trying to impress nobody, it's just burning money, throwing money in water. I mean, you doing all this just for what? Just for a possibility of a female looking your way? Instead of just, when you do travel, haircut, nice clothes, everything else, then you go over there and put your best looks in another country, instead of going here trying to compete and doing all this obvious crazy crap and it still don't work. Sure. Self-improvement, right? So we supposed to like cover our flaws up with hard work, and they cover their flaws up with makeup. So if you short, you supposed to be nice. If you small, you supposed to be eating and chick out like you a lesbian. If you don't have a nice body, you supposed to self-improve and you supposed to tighten up your game. But none of this towards them when they just put on makeup. I mean, if we say that stuff, shouldn't men say, hey, you still not an attractive female. You just have a mask on. Don't act like you better than who you are, because I know what you look like behind the makeup. Why guys don't put standards on these women right now? Because What's worser? Dating a guy who have a lot of flaws that he can change it, that he got to put time into it, and his flaws stay. The difference between women who cover their flaws up with makeup and all this other gerbil is that their flaws are one wipe away. Dudes' flaws, it takes time for them to cover it up. But these chicks, all they gotta do this. But you want guys to really sit here and improve themselves for women like this. Come on, man. Or women who give guys like this, like females like this, would get dressed up for the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Like this. So this is what left for men, women who look like this. Come on, man. Let's be real. This is all you got to offer guys who don't want to travel. I mean, you lose your argument right now. Huh? How about women like this who think they're social medias and they showing their flaws all over social media? I mean, she got one cross-eyed and one straight eye. But I'm supposed to think that she's still fine. And I'm supposed to call her beautiful even though she's not. And when I call somebody out like this, I'm shaming them and stuff like that. But you can go around telling guys they need to self-improve and all that stuff. But why don't you tell her to get a regular eye or something, right? I mean, you got women with no hair resembling Danny Glover. But I'm supposed to take these females seriously over here, right? This is what you got to offer guys. Right? I mean, look. I respect guys. I respect females who go after people who are just like them. But we have a little minimum of females who go after guys who's fat. I mean, where are the females who go after just fat guys? Where are the females who socially awkward go after socially awkward men? Where are the females at who don't like to dress up go after guys who don't like to dress up? Where are the real gamers at who go after guys who do like real gamers? Where are they at? Because there's not a lot of matches. There are a lot of women who overstay their welcomes, but you want to tell men that they dating out their league, but you ain't gonna tell women that they dating out their league, and they should be happy that they dating certain guys, right? we supposed to date women who look this ridiculous. Guys supposed to self-improve for this, and they supposed to stay here dating women like this. Nah, man. Or women who get into law enforcement so she can pick her next boyfriend when she locks him up. I mean, the stories are out there. Just look for it. Women being in the force or correctional officers sleeping with the thugs and everything else. But you supposed to believe that it's flourishing in America with the dating scene. It's so plethora of a pussy out here, and you can get women all you want. Yeah, sure, man. All these unwanted kids out here, but we supposed to believe that men supposed to pick up the slack for these women, right? This is the reality of what these guys offering. Suicide. I mean, nobody came at Trey Songz yet for his involvement with having sex with another man's wife. He's still alive. I mean, if this was another country, they would have checked him. They would have made him pay some money to the family. They would have done something with this dude. But he's still allowed to live because why? Nobody calling this guy out. So this resembles of what I said about these gang guys who don't show this kind of stuff. The results of guys having sex with other people's wives and girlfriends. Suicide is prevalent when it comes down to men and women relationships. It's prevalent with women too, but the fact is more men doing it out here than women. But it's still happening with the women. Men get so fed up, get tired, and they take themselves out, and they take the female and they take themselves out because it was a guy behind it, or the guy just takes himself out because the woman cheated on him. And you don't understand that these guys giving out advice, but they're not doing the opposite of the things they're doing, the harm behind the scenes, but then they want to act like they got the solutions in public. But then obviously they brag about what they do to other men because they blame it on the men, not the women. Also, oh yeah, man, hypergamy is good for society. Wife swapping is good, man. So they get to participate in all this crazy shit, and they add to the homicide rates of male suicides. But then they want to walk around talking about you shouldn't be doing this and shouldn't be doing that. Like I told you about these dudes, they play both sides, and they not talking about the suicide that happens to men. Because a lot of men are putting all their work into this. When you give certain guys advice, and they take the advice and it takes them 2 years to get to their full potential and to the so-called self-improvement, then they get with one chick. They're exhausted from doing all that self-improvement shit. And they just want to settle down because they can't do it. They not like these dudes out here with this monkey ass mentality, and they just going from one woman to woman. These are guys without consequences. These are guys that don't care about who they hurting and what they leave in their wake. But then these guys who actually do have morals, and they want them to do this. They want them to look like how they look. But the fact is, there's guys who do all this work, get one girl, and then it turns out, and then these dudes who tell these guys this stuff grab these women up, and the guy find out, and he does some crazy stuff to himself or to the kids, to himself. This is the reality of what they offering guys over here. You never see them talk about advocating of suicide because of women. Because they can't make a point of saying that men make women commit suicide. The lames and the losers and the weirdos can't make anybody do nothing, because that's why people come after them. Losers and weirdos can't do nothing. They can't travel. They can't be smarter than everybody else. They can't brag. So they sure can't making women commit suicide for breaking up with them. Come on, man. Let's be real. The guys who making all this happen are the guys who can get all the women. They cause a lot more chaos to women and to men. But they want to go out here and make you pay for advice that might not work for you and might cause you to die. I mean, they want you to be out there waiting in line for a female in jail. They want you to date these women who used to be in jail for petty theft, credit card fraud, robbery, selling drugs, keeping drugs in the house, taking the case for a dude. But you're supposed to date these women. That's what they offering you. Oh, women like this. Or how about her? Just because she look good, they want you to, take in this chick. Look like this just to get women. Self-improvement, man. All you gotta do is dress up. We know the women over here rule. Hey, I'm broke, but I got a pooty to hustle dudes into taking me out and buying me things. He. Find a sucker to date. My punani. He. That's the mentality of these women. I mean, they dangle it over your head and the potential of you getting it, but they're already giving it to somebody else. So that already makes the possibility of even dating them drop at a higher percentage. But they're not gonna tell you that, right? I mean, this is who they love so much. I mean, when you know that you got guys in jail who can use FaceTime and Facebook Live and everything else, these guys will never say that these guys making us look bad. They'll say that you making them look bad because to them, you're the lowest denominator. But we're not going to talk about the women who avidly search out these guys even when they're in jail. But God's supposed to deal with these women. These are the women here that they said are here left for guys. Women who deal with guys from jail. Because this is a scenario. She can be talking to this guy in jail and you can be having fun with her or whatever. This guy comes from jail, kills both of you, and he goes back in jail. Or kill you and she lies and covered up for him. And then he goes back to jail for killing you, and then she's still talking to him and visiting him. So you going and she wins. Or you and her both lose, she bring you down with him. So we supposed to give marriage to used up women who have multiple kids, right? This is what's left for us, right? I mean, women with high egos who they'll talk about guys who got receding hairlines. They'll talk about guys who got big nose. They'll talk about guys who overweight, but they don't have real hair. So the real hair gives them their power and strength. And this is the reason why they wear weave and makeup, because they want to feel better.